What's up, friendos, and welcome into Bet This League right here on In This League. It's the Welsh. It is the Scott Bogman, and we're here for you for NFL Week 4 best bets. Some sides, maybe a little bit of teasing action. You got it, friends, and props. Oh, all the props. Plus, if you like to pick all the games that are out there, we are going to be picking with you. Bogman had a very good week, by the way. So we're going to be talking about that. So we're going to pick all the games, whether we are actually betting on them or not. We'll give you all the scores, where the money was. Bogman, it's time for some week 4 action. And I'll tell you, coming off a pretty good Thursday football, I had only 2 bets. CeeDee Lamb receptions, boom. And a fun CeeDee Lamb first overall reception for the Cowboys, which paid 3-1. So we started the week off pretty good. And I am trying to hold it all back because I see all these bets and I'm like, oh my God, I like that. Oh my God, I like that. Oh my God.
You shouldn't hold anything back. Welsh 5-0, 6-0, 5-0. It doesn't matter. Every single thing that he had on his official list.
6-0 last week. Yeah. On the show sheet here.
So I see Jags Burner still waiting on that CFL podcast. Oh, it's Robbie Baseball. My bad. What up, Robbie? So yeah,
I think Jags Burner one is the arm wrestling contest, not a CFL podcast.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The curling is what he wants.
The curling one. That's exactly right. So.
But yeah, Welsh was awesome. I think I was okay last week in my props. 2-4.
Let's take a look. Yeah, you were 2-2. I'm seeing you. I think you had like 2. We had these secondary ones that weren't official cards, which you didn't hit, and then I think I had like 3 or 4, and only one of them hit. But of the official card, you were 2-2. You hit Marvin Harrison. You hit Malik Neighbors. Good Lord, Malik Neighbors, man. Rashid Shaheed didn't work out because he was donated, and Swift was a pile of crap. And yeah, I hit them all. I hit the touchdown, Jamar Chase. I hit Jawan Jennings, of course, Marvin Harrison, Pickens, the Purdy touchdowns, and Olave. So 6-0. I'm literally not going to be better than that. But that's what we're going to kick it off with. We're going to kick it off with all of our best props for this week, our prop bets. Then we'll get kind of more into the sides. We'll tell you where the money is. And the one game last week, there was one game that had 80% or more of the money. We'll tell you if it hit or not. And then we'll tell you the 2 games that have 80% of the money that's going on here. And then, like I said, we'll do the rest of the picks. If you guys want to support the boys, inthisleague.com. That'll take you to our Patreon. You can sign up today. You can also watch this show live as we're doing this. We reacted to some of our listeners. You get it usually, I don't know, like half a day before it ends up releasing. You get to see the video side of it and hang out. There's an extra perk. We got Thursday Night Football with Bogman streams. I got AFL coming up, which I'll probably be doing some exclusive, this is a football or baseball thing, Arizona Fall League content. We got ranks up there, and we got our Group Me rooms where you can hang out with our pretty awesome community. And just know you are feeding Bogman's cat when you do. When you don't sign up, that cat goes hungry. And if you're comfortable, yeah, and he'll tell you about it during the podcast probably.
That's right.
If you're comfortable starving Bogman's cat, then don't sign up. But if you're not comfortable with that, also feeding my children too, if that counts. But specifically Bogman's cat is the thing. Right. If you're not comfortable feeding his cat, or if you makes you upset, sign up today. Feed a cat, specifically Bogman's.
That's right. Better than the ASPCA. Do they give you fantasy advice? Don't think so. Hashtag feed captain. That's right, Jack.
I think that would actually be a really good like end of year way for us to approach, is stop like telling anybody perks and just like shame and guilt everybody and just be like, hey, listen,
will you feed this cat?
This cat's only had 3 meals today.
This cat.
Yeah, look, hi, Captain. There's Captain.
He's overworked, underpaid, needs some food, and you're staring at his dad's giant gut.
And there was only 1 soda can next to Captain. Captain needs at least 3 soda cans to knock over.
I have the Great Pyramid right next to that.
I'm trying to sell. I'm trying to sell everybody on the Patreon. He needs many more cans to knock over. So in this league.com.
Quit drinking Coca-Cola with the way the price on these things is. Good Lord.
Inflation. The only thing that has not gone up, by the way, in price over the last 3 years is our Patreon. I think maybe Patreon added tax. We have not changed our price since we started. So there you go. You want to avoid inflation, or I don't know.
Better promises than any presidents. So
the Patreon, we're there. Salute you, everybody. Let's talk about the props. We are both on the Betting Pros app. If you want to check it out, highly suggest. You can also get all of Bogman's college takes, since we don't talk college on here. Bogman's best bets videos on Fantasy Pros, also just the bets throughout the week. Bettingpros.com/Bogman. When you download the app, it's free, by the way, and you can just like follow him and you'll get notifications if that's what you want. Same with me. You can follow me, bettingpros.com/Welsh. You'll see the bets that I put out. It'll go into your feed. You can get notifications, blah, 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 if you want more. But on this episode, we are breaking down all the props. As Bogman said, I did go 6-0. Bogman went 2-2. It's a good week. While there are some tough things, there's some things that like I want to be invested in that you really just can't. There are some props that have not dropped because it's been, like there's a question mark. Like Keenan Allen.
There's some that have changed. Yeah.
Some have changed. Keenan Allen has not dropped. Hell, I've told this story multiple times, but my Carson Steele thing, I locked Carson Steele on Tuesday at 22 rushing yards, and it's up to 43. Like there's a lot of weird adjustments. So I'll tell you, I guess what I'm getting is I've felt compelled over the last couple of weeks to get in as early as possible. I've noticed, besides the weird Carson Steele one, this is the first week that I have not seen massive movement. Like last week, the Marvin Harrison one, I got it like 5 yards lower than what it ended up when we did this show, and it still hit. I haven't seen like massive dragging movement because I think there's a lot of weird stuff. So I don't know. We'll see if that is a good thing, if that's a bad thing. So let's get into it. Our favorite props for week 4. Bogman, let's kick it off here. Do I see 4 official and 3 unofficial, or are we going to go 7 props?
These are 4 official and then 3 touchdown shots if you want to take
Love
them.
it. Love it.
So, but my 4 official here, I'm going Kyler Murray over 231 pass yards against Washington. Washington 31st in coverage grade, 29th in pass rush grade. They let the kid pass all over them. They've allowed the 4th most passing yards in the NFL this season, highest over of the week. Going to be a back and forth game between Jaden Daniels and Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray. So let's go.
Foreshadowing you're doing
231. It better not be 231.5. This has bumped up a couple of yards. It was 229.5 when I looked at it last night, but not a surprise. Little money coming in on Kyler. I got another quarterback one, and let's go with the Red Rifle over 1.5 passing touchdowns. This one you're getting plus money, plus 1.5 against Cincy here. Bengals are not getting to the quarterback. They're just not putting up good pressure numbers. 24th in pressure percentage so far, 28th in pass rush grade on PFF. Again, the kid tortured him last week. So they are going to get smoked in the secondary. I expect this game to be back and forth. Carolina's defense sucks too. So I like the over 1.5, especially when you're getting plus money. It looks like Welsh is looking for that one on his DK app right now.
You give me 155 on a 2 touchdown. This is similar to my Purdy one from last week. I was just like, yo, Purdy, this is a bad secondary. They've been throwing the ball more. They didn't give me plus 155, but I think I had it was like plus 125 or something like that. So this feels like that Purdy one to me.
Yeah, I think that one cashes, and it could cash fairly early too. Let's go with Jordan Mason over 84.5 rushing yards against the Pats. The Pats have nothing on offense. San Francisco should possess the ball almost the whole game. I believe San Francisco's 2nd or 3rd in time of possession, and the Patriots are in the bottom 3rd. And the stat I saw from Steve Polzolo from Check the Mic, it was plays over 10 yards for the Niners accounted for 580 something yards. It's the most in the NFL. The Patriots dead last, plays over 10 yards, 86 yards or something. I think the Niners hold the ball for almost 40 minutes in this game. I was going through a couple of the prop projections and stuff on PFF. They have Jordan Mason for over 20 carries in this game. So
if he's over 20 carries, he's going to push well over 80 yards.
Well over 80 yards. So 84.5. It's at minus 115 right now. And it didn't move. It was one of those that actually didn't move today. So kind of surprised to see that. And the last prop that I have for you, Stephon Diggs over 5.5 receptions against Jacksonville. We just saw Tank Dell is down. I don't think Joe Mixon is going to play.
Is Tank out?
Tank is out. They just
officially,
yes.
Oh, okay. That's really interesting because you know what's so funny? They didn't have his prop up all week, and then late last night, or actually, no, I'm sorry, early this morning before I did the Betting Pro show, I saw it was up and I was like, oh, I guess Tank is playing. And so obviously they must have taken that right back down.
So this has dipped. I just looked at it as you were talking to minus 155 for Stefon Diggs.
Oof.
But
for
5.5 receptions. But let's just wait for the prop to come up to 6.5 and bet it then, because we're still getting the Texans passing at a 65.7% clip. And Jacksonville is awful against the pass. More on that when we get to our straight picks here. But I just don't trust anything Jacksonville is doing. You're down 2 of the top weapons for the Texans. Nico is questionable as well going into this game, so he's likely playing at less than 100%.
He did say he's good. Yeah,
he
said
he's good. But what does that mean? Does that mean he's at 100%? Does it mean he's at 80%? Doesn't matter. Yeah. Stefon Diggs going to catch 100 footballs in this game, I feel like. So I'm going to go over that one. And then my...
here, hold on. I just wanted to say one thing. DK, I'm looking right now. It's actually minus 130 for 5.5. So
okay, I didn't even see it on DK earlier. They must have just put it up because they didn't have it an hour ago.
Yeah.
And I saw it on BetGM or BetMGM for
cheap plug here for our guys. I just would say the Betting Pros app, it'll show you all the books. Now, sometimes I'm not sure if it takes, sometimes the updates like hour to hour might take like a tiny bit, but you can look across the books on Betting Pros and it'll give you a consensus line, which I think is pretty beneficial if you do multiple books. Everyone knows I'm pretty strictly like DK. I do some FanDuel, but minus 130, it's not ideal, but it's like, I'm not touching minus 155. I can get down with maybe like a minus 130.
What if it is plus 125 at 6.5?
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, I think that's playable. I still don't loves like playing to 7 receptions. I didn't love playing 7 receptions with CeeDee Lamb, but I think it's doable, especially with Tank out.
Yeah, he just gets everything underneath, right?
Mixon's
out too.
Yeah, so they're gonna throw the ball.
We have Foye Oluokun out for the Jags. He's not going to play in this game. I think Devin Lloyd was questionable as well. Their secondary is beat up and terrible. Like everything's bad for Jacksonville right now. My 3 touchdown props that I like. Again, don't take touchdown props if you don't like them. These are the 3 that I like. I'm going to pair that Andy Dalton with Deontay Johnson at plus 190. I think he can easily get in the end zone against Cincy.
Dude, you could parlay that. You could same game parlay that, and I bet that one looks pretty.
Roschon plus 155. They're giving him the carries this week, they said, or a lot of them. DeAndre Swift couldn't do anything. So I just think if they get down near the goal line, you don't want to run Caleb Williams into the pile. DeAndre Swift can't run into the pile. Doesn't matter. I did see a meme that said, I hate that nepotism keeps running backs in the league, because the only reason DeAndre Swift is a starting running back is because his cousin is dating Travis Kelce.
I saw that.
Yeah, it's so stupid. But I do like Roschon. And then Cortland Sutton at plus 285. I know the Jets secondary is good. Gardner has not been that great this season. We saw Bo Nix have a much improved performance on the road against Tampa Bay last week. So I kind of like Cortland Sutton possibly getting in the end zone, and you're almost tripling up your money here, plus 285. So those are my 3 TD calls again, but my 4 officials.
What's your favorite? Well, what's your favorite of those TDs?
Deontay Johnson at plus 190. Yeah, okay. I think he's going to catch like 10 balls. So here's my 4 officials. Murray over 231.5 passing yards. Dalton over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Mason over 84.5 rushing yards. Stefon Diggs over 5.5 receptions. If it flips to 6.5, I'll just call that my official for the plus money at 6.5.
All right. Here are my prop bets. I do have quite a few for you. I have 7 here. One of them is me standing on business. So do the analytics and projection. I mean, projections do play into it on how far it can go, but this is me standing on business. Tyreek Hill. I'm going to just double down. And I said this on the pro show. I'm double downing on my take of buying Tyreek Hill. It was garbage last week. Everything was bad. But one of my big points is still on the year, even after having like a 15% target share and under 7 ADOT, he still has an over 11 ADOT, 34% target share still, and almost 15 yards per reception. And he's 4th in the league in yards after reception at over 9. I think he's going to get 6 or 7 catches, maybe 8, maybe 9 catches in this game. I don't know what the variety is going to look like. He's going to have to do it after the catch, but it is a super low 52.5 yards receiving for Tyreek Hill. I like Tyler Huntley more than I think most. So this is, I'm warning you, this has less pull to like my others where I have better data. And this is me standing on business for Tyreek Hill.
Oh, so, yeah. 10 toes down when you're standing on business. Skibbity, Ohio Riz.
That's right. Skibbity, Ohio Riz. That's literally, you took the words out of my mouth. My favorite, though, of the week is DK Metcalf. 62.5 receiving yards is what I locked it in at. I believe there are some books that it's at like 64.5. I don't know where it's moved. The projections on Betting Pros over. Projections on PFF over 72.5. Lions are giving up the most yards to wide receivers in the NFL. DK is 11th in air yards, 18th in air yards share, and the Betting Pros page has got him hitting 2 of the 3 over the last over his last 3 games. But I really like this. They have this comparable tool where it'll show you like, you know, the top receiver for each team versus the Lions. The top receiver for each team versus the Lions has crushed this every single week for 3 straight weeks. So DK Metcalf receiving yards at a low 62.5 when they're going to be throwing. Yes, sir. DK Metcalf. The other one I like almost as much. And then I guess there's like a little bit of a downtick in what I like. It's another quarterback one, Boggs. I did a quarterback one last week. This is a yards play. It's Josh Allen, passing yards, 230.5. He's hit this in 2 of his last 3. He is projected over 230 on Betting Pros. He's over 245 projection on PFF. And more importantly, the Ravens are giving up the most passing yards in the NFL. So I told you, like, the Lions receivers are having the best success against the Lions right now. Against the Ravens, you can fling the ball. It's like over 300 yards passing per game. So give me Josh Allen to go over 230 easy when he's already done it twice. So I love that. Those two. Any real quick takes on either one of DK or Josh Allen?
I really like the DK one. The Josh Allen one, I want to take just so if he's not hitting it, I can text you in the middle of the game and be like, doesn't look like Josh Allen is getting anything. You've just seen this guy when Keon Coleman wasn't playing in the first 2 series.
Well, I didn't bet on.
Guy was texting me like it was my fault that Keon Coleman.
No. This was our debate.
It was a fantasy league. I know.
No, I tried to bring up Quentin Johnson, and Bogman essentially like turned me into the teen from the new Wanda show and zipped it over my mouth. I wasn't allowed to speak, so I was just voicing that frustration. But hilariously, those two were like almost the same. Just Quentin Johnson caught one more pass.
A one catch from Keon Coleman, by the way.
I know.
So hopefully he's back in. But yeah, that one is hilarious to me.
All right, so here are the next little crew. I'll try to be a little bit faster. I'm in on this one. Demario Douglas. I just dig 32.5. This, I will tell you, is a receiving yard prop that has moved down. So that one has moved down a tiny bit to 32.5. He hit this last week. One of my favorite pieces of this is that this is the role that Tutu destroyed them last week. Tutu Atwell went over this out of the slot. Demario Douglas is 83% out of the slot. They're getting him the ball. He had like 7 targets last week. And the Niners are kind of banged up in general on defense, and the secondary is susceptible. So 32.5 for Demario Douglas, I like. I've got Kyle Pitts, 34.5 receiving yards as well. I think he's going to get back involved. This is a solid matchup on the over. I have a reception parlay. Boy, I don't know if this one is still going to be out there for everybody, because one thing I noticed, let me see if you can even do it. Maybe you can look around in different books, but it is taking Greg Dortch, who, his reception prop was 2.5 yesterday. And I got it at 2.5, pairing it, because now it's 3.5 and it's also juiced to hell. And I was pairing it with, holy crap, with Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers yesterday, so I guess this isn't going to play for you guys, was 3.5 receptions. But Dortch and him were too juiced, so I paired them together. Bowers is now at 5.5. And
well,
Dortch
they just said, didn't they just say Devontae's down?
That's why I took it earlier in the week. So you might have to cross that one off, unfortunately, because my play is 3.5 and 4.5. I don't want to play Bowers at 5.5. You could, if you still want to play it. Both of these guys went over that specific prop, and Washington secondary is the worst in the NFL. So like Dortch is such a great play. And then my final play in here, it just dropped. It's like a new mixtape. Devon Achane, receiving yards. He has hit this, I believe, in all 3 weeks.
When's that new Achane join out?
It's happening this weekend, and it's happening against the Tennessee team that has given up the most receiving touchdown to backs, to running backs.
Monday, by the way.
Monday, sorry. Well, still kind of a weekend, football weekend.
This week.
But Devon Achane, this is the lowest receiving yard marker. Tennessee is a tougher defense. Obviously, the offense has people scared. But what more are you going to do? Even if you are playing from behind, by the way, you're going to throw the ball to Achane. You're always going to throw the ball to Achane. He has done it. They're susceptible on the receiving side. Achane receiving yards. That gets the treatment of moving up. So I'll also throw out to you my 2 touchdown calls. Keenan Allen is almost 3-1 right now. He had 2 red zone targets from Caleb Williams in the 1 week he played. Love that. And God, what was the? Oh, and I mean, I also like Dortch. I was going to throw out there. I forget the other betting pros one. So just focus on Keenan Allen for touchdown this weekend at like 3-1 for a little. That's a little extra. But again, my main plays: Metcalf receiving yards over, Tyreek Hill receiving yards over, Josh Allen passing yards over, Demario Douglas receiving over. I guess we're crossing out that parlay, but you know what I have. Kyle Pitts receiving over and Devon Achane receiving 23.5 on the over. Friends, those are my props for the week. We'll
I
see
have a
what
question.
We can cash. Yeah.
Why do you hate running backs? What's your problem?
Why? Because I have a Devon Achane one, just no rushing. Yeah, I don't have any. Well,
it's
okay,
all receiving yards.
There is a rushing play that I like, and I just didn't put on here. I like Jalen Hurts rushing yards this week.
It's still a quarterback. You still don't like.
I know. I guess I still don't like a running back. I don't like any of the numbers, dude.
That's fine.
Oh wait,
Jordan Mason. Come on, you gotta like the Jordan.
No, I got one. Carson Steele. I had it 22.5 over rushing yards.
So would you take it at 40?
Well, it's at 43.5 right now.
Oh my God. Will you take it at 43.5?
I don't know.
Would you go under?
No, I don't think I would. I don't think it's safe to play under. We just don't know what Hunt and all of them are going to do. It's just like the values adjusted
dicey.
Too much.
It is dicey. Yeah, the Chargers have been playing decent defense. So
you know what? Actually, the running back one I like too. Ramondre Stevenson against my Niners.
No.
Hargrave. Oh, Hargrave is out on the middle of. Are you kidding me?
You're not going to have the ball.
I think
they're not going to hold the ball.
Trent Williams is a little bit banged up. What if the Niners are doing their in and out drives and Ramondre gets the ball? I don't know, man.
I think that game will be the most lopsided time of possession game this weekend. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe not. I hope so. I hope you're
that's
right.
That's why I wouldn't bet Ramondre, is because I just don't know how often does New England have the ball, and when they have the ball, are they already behind and passing? You know what I mean? So we'll see.
The other one that was floating around, not to just keep throwing all these other float arounds, but like I really want to get involved in the Marvin Harrison business. I just don't know what to do. It's up. It's like at 72. His reception prop doesn't feel great. You almost feel like you want to ladder it over 100 because I think all 3 receivers versus Washington have gone over 100, or 2 of the 3 have gone well over. So there might be a ladder in there. I just say you guys want to like pay attention, betting pros, or ping us in the Bet This League room. We have a GroupMe room on our Patreon. You can always ping us there and we can do that. All right. Those are the prop bets. Let's take a break. When we come back, we are going to hit where the money was, how we did on our sides, who we've got this week. And then we are going to pick all the games for week 4 and tell you them records. So don't go anywhere, friends. We'll be right back right here on Bet This League. Let's take a look at the monies. The monies. There was one game last week, one singular game that was 80% more the money, at least when we did this show. Obviously, like Saturdays and Sundays, things can change. It was Tampa Bay -6.5 versus Denver, and that did not work out. That's a big old no. So the money
too many
did not
takes,
cash.
Man. There are too many takes in the space. I think a lot of people were scared off or out of their season money they were going to bet already this year. So there is a lot of divide in almost every single game the last 2 weeks. So we'll see if this trend continues. Maybe we'll get closer to getting some of these 80% totals, but again, only 2 this week.
But I think a lot, I know how I feel. I look at all the sides and I'm like, I see the story of where I'd want to go with it, but I lack comfortability in a lot of them. Like, I guess maybe conviction. Like you look at Minnesota and Green Bay and it's just like, I want to take Minnesota with how they've performed and they're getting Addison back, but it's Green Bay at home. You go and look
Love back.
Yeah. And they get Love back. Exactly right. The Steelers versus the Colts. Like the Steelers have been on fire, but let's not joke that like something weird can happen. They love to lose stupid games.
They love to lose games against Indy. They love to beat Indy when Indy is good. When Indy is humming, I feel like the Steelers beat them. And when they're terrible, they beat the Steelers. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, like I said, having a hardcore conviction on a lot of like the sides and totals, I guess I lack, and maybe that's where the public is too. And that pushes to, there was only 2 pieces that Bogman found in the data, at least as we're recording this, that had 80% or more of the money, and they're both spreads. It is Cincinnati -4.5 versus Carolina, and the Rams +3 at Chicago. So that is where primary money is right now. And I hate them both because it's like, I think this could be a field goal game with the Carolina and Andy Dalton. And I think Chicago can absolutely win this game. If the Rams defense is so bad and the Bears defense is good, but the Bears are weird, I lack conviction on these. So I don't see why all the money is. I mean, I guess I see why people are putting the money in. I'm just surprised it's these two.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate Carolina on the money line, to be completely honest with you. I don't know that I would bet it, but
what is that? That's +180, by the way.
I've seen a lot of people playing it. They're at home. Since he looks like garbage, they have one less day to prepare because they played on Monday night. Like, it all kind of adds up towards Carolina at least covering. So I don't like that one at all.
Might be not a bad tease. If you teased it, by the way, you could, if you put it in a tease piece, you get +10.5 on Carolina at home.
And the Rams plus the points, I will probably end up taking them just because Chicago's look so bad. But how are you putting faith in the Rams or the Bears?
But dude, how about that right there? Why don't you do that? Why don't you tease the Rams and the Panthers? You could get Panthers +10.5, and then you could get Rams +9. It'll be -120, but I like to play it. You do whatever you usually do, 1 unit, do 2 units on it, and you get ridiculous numbers on both of them.
I would pair Carolina and something else. I'm not trusting the Rams. So
even at +9?
Nah. Now I see it both ways. That game could be a blowout for Chicago at home because the Rams let down, they're on the road, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I don't like that game at all. So I wouldn't mind pairing the Carolina one, but I'm not touching that Rams and Bears game. Hard pass.
Yeah, I'm not touching either one of these, but I do have a teaser. I've only got 2 plays on the side right now that I'm like cool with. Bogman, you've got 3. Mine is a 2-team teaser. And if you're in that Bogman world, I'm just throwing this out here. If you wanted to add Carolina, you could add Carolina to my teaser, and you could get it at like whatever. I'm forgetting, like +160, I think a 3-team teaser is. So I'll just kick it off because I've only got 2 plays here. This is my teaser for the week, and it's taking 2 plus money plays and just getting big numbers. Give me Buffalo +8.5 because they're +2.5. So again, teasers is you're getting 6 points on both sides. So I'm now getting Buffalo versus that. I mean, Baltimore's a tough ass team, but they're a horrendous secondary. I get them plus more than a touchdown at 8.5. Yes. And same thing with the Saints. The Saints were, disappointing, but +9 against Atlanta. I couldn't love these 2 teasers, plus money teasers as well. So I am teasing the Saints and Buffalo over a touchdown on each of them. Thank you very much. I do believe is Buffalo. Yeah, these are 2 road teams, but it's almost double digits. So I really like that. And then the only spread right now, and this is back me standing on business, Miami. I'm going to take their -1 against Tennessee. I don't love Tennessee. I know they can play hard. Tony Pollard's been pretty good. You got Ridley and Hopkins back. I think Will Levis is bad. I think Miami is going to have fixed some of this problem of the stagnancy. They've got 3 huge playmakers. I'm essentially just taking this straight up. So give me Miami I'll take the spread -1. I haven't even actually looked. What is the money line is going to be something stupid where it's like, I'd rather just pay for, it's -118 versus -112. A 1-point spread just doesn't matter to me. Yeah. So take the money line, take whatever it is. I'm taking Miami. Those are my only 2. That's it. That's all that I got here. That teaser and Miami.
I've got 3 here. I've got one side. I'm taking Houston -6 at home against Jacksonville. Stroud against Jacksonville the last couple of years, or last season, excuse me. 20 of 30 in week 3, 280 yards and 2 touchdowns. Week 11 at home, 26 of 36, 306 yards, 2 touchdowns. He torches these dudes. I don't care who's hurt. For Houston, the defense is still really good. That offensive line is not protecting Trevor Lawrence. They might end up going to Mac Jones. It is an absolute disaster right now in Jacksonville. This was a lot of people's sneaky pick last year to go to the playoffs. This year, they're the sneaky pick to maybe have the number 1 overall pick. It is just looking disgusting in Jacksonville right now. I don't think they put it together on the road against the best team in their division. So give me Houston, and I'll lay the 6. The others are totals here. I'm going over on both of them. And I think the Washington-Arizona over is probably my favorite play of the week. Both are 2-1 to the over. The 30th and 31st in PFF coverage grade. That's 30th for Arizona, 31st for Washington. Second most pass yards allowed statistically in this season is Washington. Cards are 27th in pressure rate. Washington is 20th. Washington has 22 missed tackles. That's 26 in the NFL. They grade 27th in tackling on PFF. Both teams pass at a rate over 57%. So I love the over in this game at 51 because both these defenses are horrendous. And then I'm going to pick on a low total because we have some injured players here. Let's go with the over 37 in Cleveland and the Raiders. This might actually dip after we saw the announcement that Devontae is less than 100 or not going to be in this game. These are the 2 highest passing percentage of play calling teams in the NFL so far this season. Both are over 71%. They both have really good defensive lines, but Max Crosby is out. Myles Garrett is up, but he is playing well less than 100%. Jordan Hicks, Dalvin Tomlinson, Divine Diablo are all questionable. I think Diablo might have been just ruled out as well. Even if and I said this is what I wrote up yesterday. Even if Adams is down, and he is, Bowers, Myers, and Tucker are a decent trio. But let's say they're awful, right? Gardner Minshew's bad again, and Cleveland has the ball for most of the game. Well, they're going to go up against the 30th ranked defense in the league right here in the Raiders. I lost my spot here. According to PFF, they're the 30th grade. They've given the 3rd most yards this season and the 6th most points up are the Raiders. Their secondary is trash. They just lost Marcus Epps. This total is too low. It's just too low. 28-10 gets you there in this game. So I'm going well over the total in this one.
Oh, those totals, man. It's a weird. I was actually just looking at all the picks too. It's some weird totals. You guys feel comfortable? Let us know. Hit us up, by the way. Is it the Welsh Bogman Sports? You guys got some nice sides that you feel good with, or anybody in the chat, you got a good side, throw it at us. Whether we can put it in with a piece or we can take it straight up. I just wish I felt a little bit better. I just saw something. Am I, Boggs, before we move on, did something happen with Chris Olave?
He was listed as questionable.
I saw our boy Fitz in a chat just go, angry face, I have Olave in all of my leagues. And that doesn't make me feel good. Olave suffered an injury in practice today. This is about an hour ago.
Because he was questionable going into today. So he's probably definitely down then.
Yeah, and as of an hour ago, they're just not saying what it was. They just that he suffered. They're saying it's a hamstring injury. Well, we know how quick those. So he should be out for week 4. Just putting that out for New Orleans. Hate my teaser piece now for Olave. Hate that. I'm probably gonna see. That's what I'm talking about. I think +9 with Olave out. I mean, I like Shaheed still. I don't know. I don't know if I can take it. So hamstring injury. So, let's pick some games though, and let's see what effect that has. Oh, by the way, forgot to mention last week, I was 2-1, hit my teaser again. That's 2 for 3 on teasers. Absolutely crushed on the Niners because I'm an idiot, and I got Kansas City. So 2-1. Bogman, you were 1-2. You hit Buffalo. You also a dummy like me with the Niners, and you had Chicago money line. So 1-2. I was 2-3. Those are those sides. Only 2 bets. I feel like Abigay. I feel bad now because I should probably give someone a better tease piece than because I got to take New Orleans out of that now, right? Don't you think so?
Yeah, probably.
I don't think I can play New Orleans after that bull crap. I love Buffalo. Maybe I go Carolina.
Yeah, because you get Carolina. Yeah, 10.5.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah, let's move that. All right, we're gonna go Carolina. And then we're going to go 10.5. So that's my official change. Buffalo 8.5, Carolina 10.5. That's the tease piece because I just don't 100% trust the Saints without Olave. Might be a more Taysom Hill day. Probably good for Rashid Shaheed, but that's pretty brutal with Olave. All right, so that's all out of the way. Let's check our picks. Last week, I've been on fire. I guess I wasn't even that great the previous week. I was just over 500, 7-8 against the spreads. So 8-7 on over-unders. I am now 23-19-2 against the spread and 25-19 on over-unders. So that would be 11 games over 500 across the board. I will take that. Bogman was wrecking shop last week, 10-5 on the spreads, 9-6 on over-unders, 24-18-2 against the spread, but 18-26.
Working on those totals. I started
on the totals. So you're
like
2 games under 500, but you've closed the gap a whole bunch.
Yeah, my first 2 weeks on the totals were 5-9 and then 4-11. So to get a 9-6, I'm all about it.
So you and I are both spread guys right now, but you had a good week on over unders. We were both over 500 on the total. So let's take a look here. Let's get into the games. Pittsburgh -2.5 at Indy. 40.5 is the line.
I mean, I'm just going to take Pittsburgh in the under until they prove me wrong. So don't really like it. Don't like the banged up nature of Najee. Jaylen Warren is out. Don't like this game at all. But I like the under more than I like the side, but I'll take Pittsburgh in the under.
I'm sorry, Bogman.
Our Colts, this is our team. We
bleed blue.
This is our Colts. Whether win or lose, we love them.
Whatever.
For the shoe, beat the Steelers. Let's steal another victory. This is our team. Go Colts!
I didn't know that was going to happen at the end. That guy's a national treasure.
You know what? This is the first week our boy Chris Young is in here watching this, or he was earlier. He's a Colts fan. And this is the first week I think I didn't send him that thing. I didn't see it pop across my feed. So.
This is our Colts. This is our team.
By the way, the last 2 weeks, they've sent people from the Colts to his house for him to. They sent the mascot 2 weeks ago, and they sent some cheerleaders last week. Maybe the cheerleaders didn't come back, and that's why they didn't send anybody this
Michael
time.
Pittman. I don't know. Maybe he's not doing anything else. So send Pittman out there. Get Anthony Richardson to get right. I don't know. But I'm going to go with the Colts because of what we talked about before. The Steelers will, you just get these weird games. Justin Fields on the road. Sure. Colts are a disaster. I think they're going to keep it on the ground. The more that I look at this, I'm going to take the under. I don't know why I had the over there. Yeah, I'm going to go with the under because I think this is going to be an ugly.
I don't mind you not taking Pittsburgh, but take the under on that game.
Yeah, I think this is like Richardson, maybe 1 passing touchdown, 1 rushing. He's going to throw a pick, though. He's going to make 1 boneheaded mistake. And then I think the Steelers are going to try to be keeping pace. But I don't know. I'm not going to be surprised, by the way. The Steelers are a really good team. It's just this has the trappings of Steeler letdown type of thing with an underperforming Anthony Richardson. So I'm going to bleed blue and go with the under. Minnesota at Green Bay -2.5, 43.5 is the line.
I'll take Green Bay at home, especially with Jordan Love back. But with the way Minnesota's defense has been playing, and I really like Green Bay's defense as well, I'm going to take the under in this game. I think this is a little bit tighter than most, and Minnesota's been beating the crap out of people, beat up on the Texans last week. I think that this game, I'm, again, more confident in the total than I am the team, but I will take Green Bay at home and the under.
I'm going to go Green Bay, but I'm going to take the over. Jordan Love slinging the ball again. We know Minnesota is going to be scoring some points. It's just what they do. You got Addison back, Aaron Jones revenge narrative. I don't know. This might be now like we're talking through this could be one of those I want to tease down. 37.5. I could get that total over. That might be something I put together. Again, I'm just so uncomfortable with lines, but maybe the full over I feel better about. Give me that over and give me Green Bay as well. Jacksonville, Houston. It is 6.5 in some spots, but I think it's also 6 in a few places, but that's really the touchdown marker. So we're going to go with 6 here. 45.5 is the line. What do you got?
I'm taking Houston, as I said before. I guess I'll take the over here. Don't like the total here. Again, way more interested in taking Houston and laying the points against Jacksonville. They're miserable.
Give me Houston and give me the under on this one. I think this is a lot about Jacksonville just being poopy. And we saw, I think Stroud is probably going to come back and be an absolute menace this week, but we also saw him make some really stupid ass decisions last week. So, maybe there's some bad drives that are kind of going on, is some 3 and outs, and then they kind of get going. My main thing is here, I think Houston is going to wax Jacksonville. I just don't know if this is going to be a back and forth. Maybe Jacksonville is going to feel more, like emboldened, and Ingram is back, and they go big plays with Brian
Ingram
Thomas.
Is not back. Ingram's out.
Is he officially out? Just I didn't even see that today. So there you go. More strange. Yeah, no, give me slap that under, baby. Let's go to New Orleans, Atlanta. Atlanta's a 2.5-point home favorite. 41.5 is the line. And now we know that Chris Olave is going to probably miss the game.
Yeah, I don't like any part of this game at all. I'm not touching it. I'm going to stay away completely because we have to pick it here. I'll take the home team and lay the 2.5, and I'll take the under just because we don't have Olave. Maybe that makes the Saints a little bit more one-dimensional. In Atlanta, Kirk Cousins has been so hit or miss. So New Orleans defense is still good. Atlanta and the under probably shade a little more confidence towards the under.
I'm completely flipping. I had this New Orleans in the over. I know like one player, but I just you get Olave out there. Rashid Shaheed showed off his inconsistency last week.
New Orleans looked bad last week too.
Yeah, they looked bad, but now you got your best receiver out. Probably keep the ball on the ground a little bit more. And I think Atlanta can play that game with them. I like Kyle Pitts in this matchup. Bijan is a menace. I'm gonna flip, and I'm gonna go. I'm sorry, actually, if I have the under, I'm going under, and I'm gonna go Atlanta. I'm tailing you on that one. Rams, Chicago. Chicago's a 3-point favorite. 40.5 is the line.
Yeah. I'll take the Rams. I'll take the Rams because they're getting points here, I guess. I'll take the over because the line is low. I don't like either part.
I'm going to take the under because of Chicago's defense, but I'm also going to take the under because Chicago's offense because has been a little weary. I know they did get it going. I just think the Rams are kind of a disaster, and this is a home team. I don't have a great feel about it, so don't get me wrong here, but I think just Chicago is a weirdly tough team, but I just think the Rams are disastrous that I'm not sure there's a lot of points. I'm not going to be shocked when we go into halftime and it's 10-3. And then it's another 15 points or something are going to be scored, which would be a weird thing, but you know what I'm saying?
I don't know why, but every time, because you said the word weary, I always think of that scene in Bull Durham where Nuke LaLoosh is playing his guitar and singing "Women Get Woolly," and Kevin Costner yanks the guitar from him and goes, "Women don't get woolly, they get weary, you idiot." I don't know why. Every time I hear the word weary, I think of that scene.
I couldn't recite you one line, one scene, one character. I've seen it once.
Nuke LaLoosh, Tim Robbins?
Nope.
Okay. Crash Davis?
Crash Davis, I know. Isn't that Costner?
Yeah, that's Costner. There you go. You can name one.
That's it.
Okay. Well, he's the main character, so great job.
No scenes or anything like that. But you always paint a very nice visual. So you painted the scene for me. So I appreciate that. Where the hell were we? Let's go Philly -2 at Tampa. 43.5 is the line, coming off of a bad Tampa performance last week.
I think this game looks a little dirtier than most. Philly out a bunch of pieces on offense, but that defense finally showed up and played strong against New Orleans last week. It is on the road, but maybe that's better for Philly to go on a business trip here. Give me Philly -2. I'll take the under here as well. I don't know. The Bucks are live by the baker, die by the baker, and he didn't show up last week. I have no idea what baker we're getting this week, so give me Philly, give me the under.
I'm going to take Philly too, even though they don't have any receivers, but I think Tampa Bay keeps strides. It's another thing. You can throw on Philly and you're going to have Mike Evans. I know Godwin was there's some questions out there, but as bad as Tampa was last week, I think they can keep pace. I think this is a little bit more about Philly keeping pace. And I think they will. Barkley and Goddard are going to play this out. And that's why I like Jalen Hurts on the ground as well. So I'm going to take the over, but I'm also going to take Philly. Cincinnati 4.5 at Carolina. 46.5 is the line. We both expressed it. We kind of like Carolina on this. I'm going to take the points. I think it's a 3-point game. The Red Rifle revenge game makes a ton of sense here. So 4.5 I'm really into, but I'm going to play the under because this seems like a lot of points that I don't think these are both super efficient offenses. So I'm going to take the under.
Nah, I like the over here. I'm going Carolina as well, but I like the over here because Andy Dalton looked good and Joe Burrow. If Jane Daniels doesn't make that amazing touchdown pass, we're talking about how Joe Burrow is back, maybe. because Jamar Chase looked great. It was against Washington. Washington is bad, but so is Carolina's defense. They're awful. So I like the over here and Carolina plus the points at home.
All right. Denver at the Jets. The Jets are a 7.5 point home favorite. 39.5 is the line.
Yeah, this one I really don't like. I think it's too many points for Denver.
If there was no hook, we're both taking the Jets here, right?
I think it'd have to go down a full point for me to take the Jets because I can see them winning by 7. Yeah, but I don't want him at 7.
Well, you can push at 7. That's why I like
push.
Yeah,
that's fine. But I'll take Denver here. I'll take the under 2 because, like, I don't know. I don't think the offense was very impressive from the Jets on Thursday night. It was okay. They played the Patriots. They had the ball for most of the game, and they still didn't put up so many points. So give me Denver, and I'll take the under here. Probably a little more confident in the under than I am Denver.
Samesies. Washington at Arizona. Arizona's a 3.5 point favorite. 48.5 is the line.
We know I like the over. I'll take the home team here for the Cardinals. So Jayden Daniels was magical last week. Does he have magic 2 weeks in a row? Not sure. So give me Arizona. Give me the over.
Coming home too, former Arizona Sun Devil. The hook gets me at a field. I think this would be a field goal game. Like the Washington defense is so bad, but the offense was really good, and you can also do this against Arizona.
Also, a known Cardinals hater.
Yeah, I also do hate the Cardinals. I'm not saying Washington's going to win outright, but 3.5 field goal game. I'll take the over, and I'll take Washington. The Niners, they're hosting New England. It's a 10-point game. In some spots, 10.5, 40.5 is the line. I hate it. I'll take the Niners, but if I was smart, I'm probably taking New England with how they've played, and I'm going to play the under because, like, if the Niners get up and they get up big, it's going to mean that their defense has absolutely shut it down, and New England's going to score nothing. If this is a close game where New England is covering, this is probably going to be an over.
Yeah, I don't care about it. New England is awful. They're so bad. Great. They got off to a good start against a beat up Joe Burrow and all that in week 1. I'm laying the points and taking the Niners with confidence. The total, I'm shaky on. I'll go over just because I think the Niners put up 35 of it, but I don't like the total at all. But I think the Niners wax the Patriots, even with players down. If Debo doesn't play, if Trent Williams doesn't play, I really don't care. I just think it's a time of possession, easy game for the Niners, and I think they bounce back big after that loss, and they should be concentrating after that loss and paying attention to detail specifically at the end of the game. So
and it looks like Kittle's back too. So
I will lay the points. Yeah,
that's a good positive. Though the Cleveland Browns 2.5 point favorite at the Raiders. We both like Cleveland. We both like the over. I don't feel confidence about the over. I do like that Watson seemed more efficient.
I picked the over. I picked the over.
No, I did
Raiders,
too. Okay. I'm sorry.
I
said I don't feel confident about the
know.
over, but I like Cleveland here. I actually feel pretty confident about Cleveland. This might even get on the card here. The over, I'm just not. But you are locked into it.
The Raiders really do seem like a big mess. I mean, nothing is good from Watson. He's been terrible, but with Crosby down, and Wilkins is still a little bit banged up as well. Like, what does this defense do? They're taking Jack Jones off the field. He was the business decision guy, by the way, was Jack Jones, the corner. So, I just don't like anything the Raiders are doing right now. I don't think they're going to rally. So give me Cleveland and give me the over, but I hope I'm wrong on Cleveland.
Chiefies at the Chargers. Chiefs are a 7-point road favorite. 39.5 is the line.
You just can't trust anything with the Chargers. Justin Herbert is still a big question. I would say he's probably not going to play in that game. So I'll lay the points with the Chiefs. I'll take the under because I don't think the Chargers score many points in this game. So give me the Chefs. Give me the under.
I don't feel great about any of this. I like the Chiefs. 7. I could probably, if I feel better about the spread than I do the total, if I were taking it, because I think the Chiefs are like a really great team. That offensive line breaking apart for the Chargers, I think, is a pretty dramatically bad situation for them. I think Dobbins is going to be kind of shut down. So I like the Chiefs a lot more. I don't feel the over or not. Chiefs could get up by 2 touchdowns and then run Carson Steele the rest of the game and Chargers don't score, or, their defense could fall apart and J.K. Dobbins has a big game. I don't know. So I don't like that, but I'm going to take Kansas City in the under. Buffalo at Baltimore, 2.5 is the spread, 46.5 is the line.
Well, do you think Baltimore beating down the Cowboys last week was more about the Cowboys, or was that more about Baltimore being good? Because the Cowboys sure didn't look good last night.
It feels like it was about the Cowboys, but that feels dismissive of how
it also feels
the
that
Ravens are offensively.
I'll say that. I'll agree with that. But it also felt like Buffalo smashing Jacksonville was more about how bad Jacksonville was as well than how great Buffalo is. But Buffalo looked pretty good. I'll take them because I'm getting points here, even though they're on the road. I'll take the over, though, because I still don't really trust either one of these defenses.
I am going to go with Buffalo, and I'm also going to go with the over. So I'm going to be tailing with you. I already said I like Buffalo on on a tease piece. I'm not going to be shocked if this game is tied going into the final quarter and, it's Lamar Jackson throws a touchdown right at the end and it's a 6-point lead or something like that. That's why I'm just finicky about where the spread could go. I feel better about the over. But I do like Buffalo, at least not getting trounced. Miami at Tennessee, -1 for Miami, 36.5 is the line. I've already said I like Miami in this one. I think they can get it rallied back together with all the disastrous quarterback play. And I also think this is an overplay. This is one of the lowest lines of the week. Huntley is not that bad. I believe in Hill. I believe in Achane this week. Achane was my touchdown call. I forgot earlier, by the way, +150. And as I mentioned, Tennessee has given up the most receiving touchdowns to running backs so far this year. And it's a +150. So I like Achane to score. I like Tyreek Hill to get on it. But Tennessee also is going to be able to put up a bit of a fight as long as Will Levis isn't being put in high leverage situations. So this is a low score that I can play around with. And the more I talk about it, I look at the tease. I feel like tease this down. And what was that other one that I really liked? Tease the, what was it? The Philly
Browns.
No, I think it was with the Philly Tampa Bay, 43.5. You could tease that, and also the Green Bay Minnesota, you could tease down to 37.5. So there's a couple good things you could tease in there, but give me Miami and the over.
For me, I'm going to take Miami in this game because they're at home. I'll take the under just because it's Will Levis, who has looked horrific this season, versus we're assuming it's Huntley. I think it's going to be Huntley. I don't think they've announced it yet as we're recording this officially. Why would you, by the way, if you don't have to?
I will be
on Monday.
I will be decimated if it's Tim Boyle or Skylar Thompson. I will be eating my words and not showing up to work.
I don't think Skylar is healthy enough to play. I know they list him as questionable. They were saying he couldn't even put his shirt on after the game. He got hit so hard in the chest. So I don't think he's playing. I think it's between Boyle and Huntley, and Huntley's only been there for 2 weeks or whatever. So I'll take the under in this game just because I'm not sure, but I just don't like anything Tennessee has done. So give me Miami at home minus the point.
Final game, Seattle at Detroit, 3.5 is the spread, 45.5 is the number. Who are you taking?
Seattle is 3-0. They've looked good in each game so far. I know this is a tough one against Detroit, who I put in the Super Bowl. Detroit is not playing their best football right now. So I'll take Seattle on the road plus the points on Monday night. I will also take the under in this game. I think Seattle's defense has been playing well so far. And out of the two units, I think Detroit's defense has been better than the offense so far. So I will go Seattle in the under in this game.
I'm going to take Detroit here. I know the questions on Laporta are out there. Both running backs, I think, match up well with Seattle. Love Amon-Ra. Hopefully, Jameson Williams kind of bounces back. I just Detroit has been wildly underperforming. Ken Walker coming back really does help Seattle. I feel better about the over at 45.5 than I do the spread, but I will take Detroit. And friends, that ends out all of our picks. That is it. That's all we got. We got the props. We got the teasers. We got the sides and totals. It's everything that we're in, except when we start getting antsy and needing a little bit more action, maybe in the afternoon game. Morning games. I'll actually be out at the Diamondbacks, the final regular MLB season game, pretty much for most of the day. So I'm going to have a lot of after night catch up on a lot of these games. So I'll probably feel compelled not to invest too further out from where I'm at. But I've also thrown out to you guys I'm going to watch Harrison's numbers. Jalen Hurts is something I want to invest in. HN touchdown. Those are a few of the other plays. I'm focusing more on props than like any new sides or anything. So
yeah, I'm with you. I mean, we'll see what the early morning slate looks like to see what we bet on late. Maybe we've been waiting all day for Sunday night, as the music says, if these things don't go well for us. So we'll see.
Well, fine. If you want any of the college stuff, go over to Betting Pros. Check out Bogman's stuff. He had the
Roll Tide,
the lines this week. He had his best bets that are up there. So if you want to get locked into that, you know where you can go. I will be on the morning. I'm on the morning one though. I switched shifts with Pizza Pia, so I'm on the hour 1 of the Q&A on Sunday morning, which is 7 a.m. my time, which means I get up at 6 something a.m.
If you're on Patreon, feel free to send me a DM. I ain't waking up at no 6.
Yeah, I know.
Ain't happening.
So if you got questions, I will be on live for that hour on the Fantasy Pros YouTube. But also at any time you have access in the GroupMe rooms, Patreon, you guys can hit us up with any questions. Glad to help you guys out. If you want to support the boys, go and check it out. Go feed Bogman's cat. Don't let it starve, and be a good Samaritan and humanitarian by signing up at inthisleague.com. That's what we've always said. Follow us on Twitter at @IsItTheWelsh, at Bogman Sports. Have a fantastic weekend, friends. And we will be talking to you on the other side of week 4 right here on In This League.
#feed captain. See ya.